example first. Again, we can consider the original linear programming problem we have demonstrated before. However, the results we obtain are not integers. So now let's assume that all the xi, there is a problem here. It should be changed that assume all the xi's are integers. How can we solve the problem? So now for this kind of problem, we have to define, apart from FAB matrices, we have to define an interlist. Since there are 5 variables, and all of them are required to be integers, so we have to define interlist like this, which means that all the corresponding components of X should be integers. So this is the one we need to do, which is slightly different from the one required in the MINCON function, which doesn't require integer X. And also for this problem, we have to write a .m function to express the objective function. We cannot use anonymous functions because the anonymous function is a new concept, so it cannot be supported. So we have to write an objective function like this, just a standard way to express the objective function. And then they have to write out A and B matrices, and also the lower bounds. So these are the commands we should use. The A matrix, B is like this, and we have to assign the interlist. And also for this example, there isn't any A in Q or B in Q, so we have to assign empty matrices. And again, for the lower bound, we notice that some of the variables, some of the entities is not an integer. So this one is not supported in BNB 20, BNB 20 function. So we cannot use this one normally. What we need to do is to use a cell command to convert it, to find the next integer larger than this one, not equal to this one. And if we call a function like this, we will change x small m to 0, 0, 4, 1, and 3. We have to use the cell command to find the integer. And for this example, we have to assign interlist as 1. All the values of interlist is 1. This one. You have to find which one in this list are 0. 1 equals to 1, which means which one of them are required to be integer. And then we can convert only the items in this string.
Okay, if you are not required to be an integer, then the minimum x
it can be still something like that. If it is required to be integer, this one must be converted using cell command. Okay. And also we have to assign upper boundaries. For this example, we have to assign larger upper boundaries. These are the difference between this function and the other function. So we have to assign upper boundaries. In this function, the upper boundary could be an empty matrix. However, function, we have to find upper boundaries. We have to select the boundary line. And we have to also assume that the initial search point is the lower boundary or any other value inside the boundary.
And what can we use in general?
You cannot use it. It is not supported in this using the function. We have to assign a large value here. And there are quite a lot of limitations or restrictions in this function because this was written 10 years ago. So there is many modifications after that. We can still use it, but we have to obey those limitations. And the command, we have to use single quotations for the file name. We cannot use anonymous functions. So we have to optimize this function and select the initial search point. And then we should specify interlist. And also these variables. And then we can use the following command to find there are quite a lot of problems. For instance, there are even indications like this, not feasible, so just ignore them. They are the intermediate result. We tried all different branches. Maybe one branch will get an error message like this, just ignore it. So let's check the original function call first. In the function call, we have several return arguments, and this one is the most important one. If it is empty, then it means there is no error message, then the result is usable. If it is not empty, then there should be an error message. So this one is the most important one. And there are quite a lot of intermediate results displayed, just ignore them. We try different branches. And each branch, they may give a prompt like this, so just ignore them. And I think one of them might be correct for this one. So just ignore the intermediate results. What you are required to get are those variables. The three variables. Okay? Yeah, okay. The error message, which returns an empty string, so which means that the result is correct. And then we can find the values in this one. F, which is the objective function, and this is decision variable. The thing that the decision variables are all integers. If you display it, you may see that there might be errors in it. So what we need to do is to call a function here. We should give this command to refine the result. If the empty message is 0, which means the solution is successful, then we can run the result for those which needed to be integers to run the result to get the correct result. Okay.